Dark Harvest. I originally thought it was a slasher film, but it turns out it's not. And actually, almost thought it was something by Stephen King, because it's that dark and eerie. Welcome to another episode of the Popcorn Confessional. And this is Dave from Nerdbox, and I'm accompanied by my wife Jen, also from Nerdbox. And on this episode, we are talking about Dark Harvest. So fire up that Jiffy Pop and meet us in the booth.
Every fall in a small Midwestern town, a supernatural specter named Sawtooth Jack arises from the cornfields and approaches the town's church, where violent gangs of young boys hungrily await their chance to confront the legendary nightmare in an annual harvest rite of life and death.
It seems like we are going not only through a renaissance in slasher movies, but the quality of the horror movies that I'm seeing so far almost reminds me of the mid-'80s. And this is definitely dark and eerie, and the way the story plays out, it almost reminds me of like stories like we were getting back then, like Children on the Corn and The Gate, because of the setting that it was in. And the reason why I thought it was Stephen King-esque is because it takes place in the 60s, and you got the greasers, and you got the crews and all that stuff, and you got the great storytelling that you would get in a Stephen King novel or an adaptation of one of his books into films back then.
Yeah, it felt very much like something from Stephen King.
And the aesthetics, the cinematography of this film was great too. The cornfields, the small town, it just sets a tone that when you're watching this movie, it just kind of reels you in. In this movie, we have Richie, who is kind of going through some issues. His older brother is the town hero, and he's struggling with that because his parents supposedly idolize him and what he's done for the town in the past, and he's kind of walking in the shadow of him, and that's causing some conflict for him. So he's kind of taking it out not only on his parents but everybody.
Yeah, getting into trouble, and he's just being an angry teenager.
And if you think of greasers from the 60s, then you have to think, the slick back hair and the carrying the switchblades. This is it. This is him and his crew.
Yeah.
So the town has this evil, dark secret where every year Sawtooth Jack comes back, and if he reaches the church, it destroys their harvest for the next year, sometimes the next several years. So what happens here, which they don't really dive into why the boys are this way, but all the parents send all their male children out one night to say, hey, this is Sawtooth Jack night. Find him, kill him. So it's almost like Lord of the Flies, Battle Royale style, where all the kids are grabbing weapons and they're just going absolutely ballistic, looking for this thing. Sawtooth Jack, you can tell when it's practical effects versus CGI, because the practical effects work up close, marvelous. CGI work, it kind of lacks a little bit. So you can tell the difference. So they should have just kept with the practical effects for this.
Yeah, the practical effects were really good.
Now, it's a creature feature film, so it's going to have some of those things that you would expect in it, which we're going to cover in the tropes in just a minute. So definitely worth a watch if you want something eerie and dark. This is set during Halloween.
Yeah.
And almost, it sets the tone for everything that you think Halloween is. This movie kind of sets that tone, so.
Yeah, it does. It feels like Halloween when you're watching it.
And there's not that many movies that are based on Halloween that actually feel like Halloween, but this does the trick. Let's talk about those monster tropes. Legend of the Monster. Yes.
Yeah.
The Big Bad, which is the monster himself, he was cool looking.
Yeah, was.
Mad Scientist. Now, the Mad Scientist is not necessarily the person that creates the creature itself. He is kind of knowing what's going on. He's a little out there, kind of wild, and he's supporting what the creature does. Check for me. I'm not going to tell you who it is.
Yeah.
The Mad Oracle, the person that warned you of the impending doom. That's in there as well.
Yep.
Budding romance. Why do monster movies have this? Why is there always a couple that's kind of like, hey, what's up? And then there's suddenly a monster there to cause the conflict in the romance. I don't get it.
I don't know.
It's there.
It's there.
Scenery porn. So what that means is cinematography is great. You have all these great little details in your scenes that sets the tone for the movie. It's there.
Yes.
Torches and pitchforks. Yes, we have townsfolk chasing after the creature.
Of course, you have to have that.
Yes, you can't have a monster movie without that. An arm and a leg. Oh, there's some body parts.
Yeah, there are body parts.
Since we started doing the tropes, and this is the only one that checks every single box.
It is, and it's the first one of this type of trope, and it checked all the boxes right from the jump.
So what do you rate this one?
I would watch it again.
Yes, I will watch it again. Definitely looking forward to purchasing it. It's going to be in the rotation. It's awesome.
Yeah, and I also want to watch it again too because I think that I missed some stuff, so I want to really pay attention. We were away having some drinks, tired, so I definitely need to watch it again.
Sounds like we'll be watching it in the next couple of days.
We don't have any movies till Thursday, so.
Anyway, In Search of Darkness is the four-part documentary series as we go from the 80s trilogy into a 90s trilogy. So you can be a part of that, and here's how.
These are the times that try men's souls.
Police believe that O.J. Simpson is in that car.
Any requests?
Oh, hi there, Fright Fiend.
There's one near you.
Can you explain what internet is?
The In the Search of Darkness 80s trilogy is complete. But as we all know, horror never dies. The early 90s represented an exciting, challenging, and evolutionary period for horror filmmaking.
Showtime! Are you ready?
In Search of Darkness 1990 to 1994 will dive into this era and analysis, deconstruct, recontextualize, and reframe this decade in horror.
Through Nerdbox, through the end of 31 Days of Halloween, you will get 10% off of 3 packages by clicking on the link that is in the description. A digital copy, which includes your name in the credits, a copy of the film, and the soundtrack, plus a booklet. Then there is the standard Blu-ray box set, which adds to everything that we talked about with the digital copies, and you get the Blu-ray, 2 posters, a commemorative booklet, and a few more perks. And then finally, the deluxe box set adds a t-shirt.
Come get some.
Don't forget, time's running out. Now, you've done a great job for us in getting us this opportunity, which we thank you very much. We appreciate you for that. Now, continue to help us grow by doing something really simple.
Like, comment, share, and subscribe.
Yes, please do that. You'll enjoy, I think, all the movies that we're reviewing this week. If you don't know what's coming out this week, go back and check out the video that we dropped on Saturday or the previous 2, because there's a lot of good TV shows and movies that we've covered. This month's been jam-packed with stuff, and so far, it's not disappointing.
No.
Except for that one movie.
Yeah, there has to be one, right? At least only one so far.
And the documentary.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. The documentary where the guy was creating the documentary got frustrated with how bad his documentary was in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And they kept it in.
Yeah. I don't know why you didn't just give up at that point.
Yep. Anyway, until the next, see you.
Happy Halloween.